Planets. Our solar system is made up of a star, the Sun, 8 planets, and countless smaller bodies such as dwarf planets, asteroids, and comets. Astronomers have discovered thousands of planetary systems orbiting stars other than our own solar system in the Milky Way. Have you ever heard of a planet? Do you know the definition for a planet? If so, you are performing better than astronomers who work for a living. Currently, scientists are unsure on the exact definition of a planet. Astronomers do, however, concur on 2 points. An object must orbit a star in order to be a planet. It becomes a moon if it revolves around another object, such as a planet. The second consideration is that the object needs to be large enough for gravity to form a sphere around it. Many comets and asteroids have peculiar forms. They most certainly are not planets. Astronomers have currently identified 8 planets and 5 dwarf planets in our solar system. The inner planets are the 4 rocky planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, which are located at the center of the solar system. The outer planets, which include Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are all mostly made of gas. Let's have a brief look at all of these planets. Number 1. Mercury. Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system and the one closest to the Sun, is a little bit bigger than the Moon. The Sun would be visible from the surface of Mercury as being up to 7 times brighter and is more than 3 times as huge as it is from the Earth. Although Mercury is close to the Sun, it's not the hottest planet. But its neighbor Venus holds the record for being the hottest planet in our solar system. Being the fastest planet, it completes one orbit of the Sun in 88 days. Number 2. Venus. The second planet from the Sun and nearest planetary neighbor to Earth is Venus. It's one of the 4 inner, rocky terrestrial planets and is frequently referred to be Earth's twin due to similarities in size and density. Not identical twins, these. Venus is permanently covered in thick, yellowish sulfuric acid clouds that trap heat and contribute to a runaway greenhouse effect. Venus also possesses a dense, deadly atmosphere of carbon dioxide. Despite Mercury being closer to the Sun, Venus is the planet with the highest temperature in our solar system. Venus's surface reaches temperatures of roughly 900 degrees Fahrenheit or 475 degrees Celsius, which are hot enough to melt lead. At its surface, Venus has crushing air pressure that is more than 90 times greater than that of Earth. This pressure is comparable to what you would experience a mile beneath the Earth's ocean. The first planet to be surveyed by a spaceship was Venus, which was successfully flown past and scanned on December 14, 1962 by NASA's Mariner 2. Rusted mountains and countless huge volcanoes are scattered over the landscape. According to scientists, certain volcanoes could still be active. In contrast to most of the other planets in the solar system, Venus spins on its axis in the opposite direction. The Sun rises in the west and sets in the east on Venus, according to this. Isn't that interesting? Number 3. Earth. The only area we are now aware of where there are living creatures is our planet, which is located 3rd from the Sun. Earth is the only planet in our solar system having liquid water on its surface, while being just the 5th biggest planet overall. Earth is the largest of the 4 planets nearest to the Sun, all of which are composed of rock and metal, and is only slightly larger than the adjacent Venus. It has been called Earth for at least 1,000 years. Except for Earth, every planet has a name derived from a deity or goddess of ancient Greece or Rome. The term Earth, on the other hand, is a Germanic one that merely means the ground. Number 4. Mars. 4th from the Sun is Mars, which is the planet next to Earth. The reddish color and dazzling brilliance of Mars makes it stand out in the night sky. Impressive surface features like massive volcanoes and valleys are regularly obscured by large dust storms. There are numerous remarkable characteristics on Mars's distinctively red surface, some of which are similar to those on Earth, and others which are oddly different. Rust in the soil is what gives it its crimson hue, iron oxide. Volcanoes, canyon networks, riverbeds, crater topography, and dune fields are a few of these characteristics. Number 5. Jupiter. Galileo Galilei discovered the first moons outside of Earth in 1610. and since then, Jupiter has a long history of stunning astronomers. That finding altered our perspective of the cosmos. Jupiter, the fifth planet from the Sun, is by far the biggest planet in the solar system, with a mass that is more than twice that of all the other planets put together. The well-known stripes and swirls of Jupiter are really frigid, windy clouds of ammonia and water floating in a helium and hydrogen atmosphere. The famous Great Red Spot on Jupiter is a gigantic storm that's been raging for hundreds of years and is larger than the Earth. Number 6. Saturn. The second largest planet in our solar system, Saturn, is located at a distance of 6 planets from the Sun. Saturn stands out among the planets due to its many lovely ringlets. While there are other planets with rings comprised of ice and rock fragments, none are as magnificent or intricate as Saturn's. Saturn, a gas giant like Jupiter, is a large globe primarily composed of hydrogen and helium. Number 7. Uranus. In our solar system, Uranus has the third largest diameter and is the 7th planet from the Sun. Despite first believing it to be either a comet or a star, astronomer William Herschel discovered Uranus in 1781, making it the first planet to be spotted with the use of a telescope. Astronomer Johann Elert Bode's observations played a role in the object's acceptance as a new planet 2 years later. Herschel made an unsuccessful attempt to give his find the name Georgium Sidus in honor of King George III. Instead, Bode's recommendation to name it after the Greek deity of the sky, Uranus, was approved by the scientific community. Number 8. Neptune. The 8th and furthest planet in our solar system, the ice giant Neptune, is chilly, dark, and buffeted by supersonic winds. Neptune is the only planet in our solar system that cannot be seen with the naked eye, and was the first planet to be predicted by mathematics prior to its discovery. It is more than 30 times further from the Sun than Earth. Neptune's first 165-year orbit after its discovery in 1846 was finished in 2011. The only spacecraft to have made a close encounter with Neptune is NASA's Voyager 2. In 1989, while it was leaving the solar system, it passed through. Beyond Neptune, there are probably thousands more dwarf planets still to be found. Ceres, Pluto, Makemake, Haumea, and Eris are the 5 most well-known dwarf planets. These tiny planets are all found in the Kuiper belt, except Ceres, situated in the central asteroid belt. Due to their size, roundness, and orbit around the Sun, they have not yet been determined to be planets. They're classified as dwarfs. The critical difference between a planet and a dwarf planet is the kinds of objects that share their orbit around the Sun. Pluto, for example, has not cleared its orbit of similar things, while Earth or Jupiter has no similarly sized worlds on the same path around the Sun. What distinguishes ordinary planets from dwarf planets? As you may expect, one of the problems is size, because dwarf planets are smaller. But at what size must a planet grow in order to stop being a dwarf planet and start being recognized as a full-fledged planet? Although it may seem as though the minimum size requirement is arbitrary, the size cutoff is really determined by the object's other characteristics and its past interactions with the solar system. There's much more to know about this sky